Okay. Okay, just let me check. Okay, parents, if you are still if you are online with us right now, give me minutes to check if it's streaming properly. Then we will start proper. Oh, okay, great. Okay, great. It's live. Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Coach John from Learning Out of the Box, and today we have a wonderful guest with awesome-looking hair, and she's a good friend of mine, and her name is Claudine Fernandez, and she's the founder of Artistic Strategies Academy, which helps children to help them nurture their interests in English through storytelling. Welcome, Claudine.
Hi, John. Thank you for having me. Nice to be here.
Yeah. Okay, so to help parents to better know you, would you be able to share with us like your story and how Artistic Strategies Academy started?
Sure. I'm very happy to do that. So some of my followers or some of my clients already know that I started ASA because I had this vision of nurturing a generation of confident communicators. And also because, in my teaching days, I taught in TPJC as well as SOTA before. I came across many students who didn't like to write. They hated writing, or they just, were not confident in their writing and communication abilities. So I decided that, this is something that I need to work on. I need to do as a calling, and it needs to start when children are young. So I decided to actually target primary school children because I feel that when children enjoy learning and when they start loving writing from a young age, their lives will significantly be better. When they enter the workplace or even when they sit for exams in school, they will not have panic attacks or they might not be nervous because they are so confident. And writing is something that comes very naturally to them as well. So this was the vision that I had, and that's how artistic strategies came to reality.
It's really interesting because I think for most English tuition center, they will have like probably the English words inside the name. Yeah. But when I first chanced upon your company's name, it's very creative because it says artistic. Yeah. So what is the difference in your program compared to other creative writing program?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So a lot of the times people ask me, "Is this an art school?"
Yeah.
Yeah, the answer is actually both yes and
Mm.
no, because we do use the arts, but we use the arts as a tool to get children interested in writing so that they become engaged in the process. And
Mm-hmm.
also because when we engage in the arts, when I say arts, I could mean like drawing or using plasticine, or
Wow.
even creating something out of recycled materials. So the definition of arts is very broad, and when they use the arts, they are actually already thinking creatively because they are using their brain, and there are all these neural connections that are going on as they are creating something artistic, and then
Mm-hmm.
they start to write about what they create. So the ideas are from them. And when they engage in arts, a lot of children are natural artists. So
Mm.
you don't have to tell them what to do. They are very good at experimenting, and they take ownership of the whole learning process as well. So arts is used as a means to get them to write better, to be more confident, and to learn English in a fun way, in an enjoyable way. Yeah, so
Mm.
that is the difference, I would say.
Just to better understand, like when you say arts and you mentioned the children did plays and also other stuff. By any chance, do you have one lying around you, yeah, that you can show?
Oh,
Yeah, or
I
you can better describe to us like so the whole process because
sure.
I'm also asking as a parent because
Mhm.
I think well I know that many children speak English at home, yeah, but I think
Mhm.
speaking and being interested and liking the subject they are all different things. Yeah,
Sure.
so I want to learn as well.
Yeah, no, I think this is a great time to share. So
Yeah,
unfortunately, because I'm not in my center right now, I don't have samples, but there are
sure,
many, many
sure.
samples on my Instagram page and Facebook as well. So just to give you an example, let's say they are working on a food writing chapter.
Yeah.
So, if you just tell them to write about, like, say, an experience at a restaurant or a story about, going to a restaurant or eating new food, they might be a bit
Mm.
lost. So what we do is that we stimulate their creative process by
Mm-hmm.
getting them to maybe use plasticine to make food, a
Mm-hmm.
food of their choice. And
Wow.
then as they are making it, they are thinking about, oh, I will include this ingredient or I will include that ingredient. And then they start to become more engaged. So when they write, you have very detailed descriptions of what the experience is like. They use their five senses. They describe the taste of the dish, what the dish consists of. So their writing becomes richer because before they even start to write, they are already thinking about the whole thing. And the best part is it comes from them. So we don't give them model answers or what to write, but we give them the process of creativity, so that with
Mm-hmm.
this process of creativity they are able to apply it in their writing. So that's just one example where we use the arts to teach food writing or even
Mm-hmm.
travel writing. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I was going through your website, as in your Facebook page. Probably I can share with the parents who are watching this. Okay, let me just share
Sure.
screen. Now this is the beauty of Zoom, because
Yeah,
if you need something, I can just retrieve it.
exactly.
Can you
Yeah.
see this cute little girl?
Yes, this is Sarah.
Sarah, hi Sarah. Yeah, would you can you tell us more about, like, what is she holding, and then
Sure.
how this plays an important part in the whole creative writing process? Because in
Mm,
my opinion, I also experience, like, when you ask me to write an essay, what
mm,
I think you'll do
yeah,
is you just pass me a topic or a
yeah,
title, and then probably at most is a picture or four pictures, and then I will just follow the flow. I mean, this is how I was taught in my
writing.
younger days.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yes, same
what's the
here.
process then?
Sure. So, actually, Sarah attended one of our holiday programs,
Yes.
and this was a holiday program where the theme was about robots. So
Ah, wow.
we gave all these materials to the participants, and they could
Yes.
choose and select their materials, and they could create a robot out of these materials. And then they had to think about the design of the robot. So first,
Mm-hmm.
what is the physical features of the robot? And then they also had to think about the functions of the robot. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, if you click on this button or if you turn this knob, what will the robot do? Most importantly, we asked them to think about the problems that the robot could solve.
Mm.
So in this way, they are also using their critical thinking skills and they are
Mm.
applying it because they are thinking about, if I could invent something, if I could create a prototype or something, what
Mm.
problem would I want to solve and how?
Mm.
And I think that this is very important because, other than just memorizing things and regurgitating things,
Mm-hmm.
very often children are not taught to think for themselves. And we need to give them, as educators and as parents, we need to give them the avenue to do so, to help them learn how to solve problems by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
to help them use their imagination and to be curious, because these are the things that, the employers of the future are looking out for. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, even employers now are looking out for that,
Yeah.
whether their employees can use their initiative, they can use their creativity to actually solve problems. So after building this robot, Sarah actually wrote about it. And Sarah wrote about how, this robot could help with household chores, even things like homework. Some of the children, even use this opportunity to solve the problem of too much homework or stress, right?
Mm.
And yeah, we just allow them to, to write about what they feel is important, because we want them to be able to express themselves better. And by doing this, by engaging in actively in the process, they are able to really express what it is that they believe, what it is that they feel, what it is that they think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see that this is a very beautiful process because while we know that your focus is on creative writing, but at the same time through doing, and I can see that the child has the opportunity to share as well, and probably they also help in their English oral.
Yes, definitely. So, although you are right to say that our main product is writing, we've had
Mm-hmm.
many parents send their kids to us because they feel that their kids are very introverted, very shy,
Mm.
very reserved, not confident. Even, having a conversation with a stranger, with the stall
Mm.
owner to order a cup of coffee is a challenge for them,
Oh.
and we need to accept that yes, there are kids like that, but
Mm.
there's nothing wrong with them. They just need a conducive environment. They need an encouraging space, a safe space
Yeah.
where they are, allowed to express themselves. They learn how to express themselves. They don't feel ashamed or embarrassed when they make mistakes. And then that builds their confidence. So, we've had children who came to us who wouldn't even utter a single word when we first
Mm.
started with them.
Mm.
But after 3 months, after 6 months, you really see the transformation in them. They become confident. They are able to voice their own opinions. And even the school teachers notice this change and they are like, what happened? What happened to your child? Your child is so much more confident now.
Mm.
And all they needed was really that space, to be themselves and to be affirmed and to be encouraged to express themselves. So in the oral examination, when kids have to talk about things that they may not necessarily have experienced,
Mm-hmm.
this comes in very handy because whatever questions you throw at someone, if the person is a good communicator, the person will be able to answer. The person will be able to express and engage
Mm.
you in a conversation. So this
Mm.
is how it has very, very practical value as well.
Mm. This
Yeah.
is really a very good thing because I'm not sure if I told you I have a history of stuttering when I was very
Mm,
young, and buying drinks is well, it's a common thing for most people or most
yeah.
children. It's a nightmare for me. Yeah,
Mm,
so I remember a time when I was younger, even in my teens, just to order like probably a KFC meal, I will go to the counter a few times and not focusing on the order, but focusing on the fear. What if I stutter or I can't pronounce the words? Yeah. So I think it's a very wonderful thing that you're doing for the kids
thank
when
you.
the object is the medium of their message. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm browsing through some of the pictures. Yeah. What is our this handsome young man doing?
This is Xavier. Yeah, so Xavier is a wonderful boy. He loves coming to our classes as well. And
Yes.
there is this activity that we do with kids when they first start coming to our classes. We ask them to bring a favorite object and we ask them to think about different creative ways that they can use their object. So, we always appeal to the child's interest. We try to appeal to the child's interest because I feel that with children, when you take an interest in them, when you take an interest in what they like,
Hmm?
they will definitely respond very positively and the learning experience will be so much more enriching as opposed to if you force them to do something that they don't want to do. So
Mm.
a student can come with like a soft toy like what Xavier did and then they can think of wonderful ideas about how this soft toy can be used in non-conventional ways.
Wow.
So again, they are exercising their critical thinking and
Mm-hmm.
they are thinking, well, if you allow me to use your brand name out of the box, right? Because they are thinking about possibilities instead of
Mm-hmm.
just thinking about the real uses of the object. So I think that this is a very good starter activity. And all the kids that come and they bring their own objects, they really, really enjoy the process as well. Yeah.
Great, great. And you do have a video you want to share with us, right? So maybe
Yeah.
I'll just play the video for a short
Sure.
while.
Sure.
Then I will soften the music and
Mm.
the volume, and then you can just bring us through the process. So what is this child doing?
Okay, sure.
And I think it will give the parents more idea on the whole process. Yeah, parents, right now, if you're just joined us, we have teacher Claudine who who I have invited, and the reason is because she has very creative ways in nurturing children's interest in English, and I think it's very important because in today's world, and parents, you do work, right, or you go and buy things, or you have to negotiate with your child. It's all using words, and if we are not good in our language, we may find ourselves at the losing end, even in office and companies when we are being confronted with coworkers who are more articulate. Yeah, so I believe that in today's world, do not just treat English as a subject to score. It should be something that it should be ingrained into your child, not by force, but because she loves the language. Yeah, so let me just quickly play this. Okay, can you hear the music?
Um,
Not ready, right? Okay,
yeah,
I know why already. I
but
know
there is
why.
subtitles as well, so it's okay.
Yes. Okay. The thing about Zoom is you need to share computer sound.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes.
You're
So
the expert at all this.
can you hear now?
Yes, I
My
can
name
hear.
is Rico.
Ah.
I am 8 years old and I go to Radimas Primary School. The title of my book is The Villain in Me. This is a true story about me trying to defeat a villain that is cancer, but the villain is too strong, so I have to go through treatment. I wrote it because I wanted to let people know about my battle with cancer so that they will never give up. My favorite part of the book is when I recovered from cancer. My adopted charity is Children Cancer Foundation, and the profits from the sales of my book will go to them. I hope you will enjoy reading my book and please support me. Thank you.
Oh, that's very nice. Wow. I think after I watch this video, there's so much questions I want to ask you. Okay, let's just
Sure.
hold for a while. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a very inspiring kid. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let me see how I should ask you. Yeah. Okay, I think
Sure.
before we jump to this wonderful boy, okay, because in my experience of having met parents, of course, some parents will support the work that we educators do.
Mm.
Have you have any experience when the parents be wondering, hey, I send my kid here for English and yet they are doing art?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have such experience?
Well, I do have parents who are curious about the value of art in English learning, because this is something that I would say, is not done widely in Singapore. I feel that the ASA, or Artistic Strategies, is actually the pioneer in marrying arts and writing. So when parents are not very sure about the process, they are curious. So they say, how can this help my child? How can, drawing, or how can art really help my child become more proficient in the English language? And it's all about educating them. It's all about exposing them to a different way of learning. And in fact, a lot of what we do at ASA stems from what I learned at Harvard. So when I went to do my master's in arts in education in Harvard, it was really, really eye-opening, because I learned about how, children, they are constructing knowledge all the time. They are not blank slates. And, it's our job as educators to provide them with the tools that are necessary for them to learn in a way that they learn best. And children learn best when they are doing. So when they are creating, when they are engaging in art, they are actually actively thinking. And it's not like, they are just doing something mindless, or playing around, and there's no value. But actually, when they engage in arts, and when they bring like these drawings to life, they are thinking of the story that they want to tell. They are thinking about what they want to write about. So this again will help them, not just in exams, because in exams you still have to think about stories, you still have to write, for the paper one component. But they become more successful in life as well because they can tell this story. You know, if you look at Andre, he's 8, but he can already tell a story about how cancer had affected him. And how many of us at 8 years old can say that we have written a book about our life? You know, many of us, we spend our entire lifetimes and we haven't even written a book. But these children are amazing because they are given the opportunity to tell their story, you know, to engage people and to persuade people as well. And that is what good leaders do. They tell stories that engage people, and these people trust them, these people respect them, and these people know the value that, you know, they are creating with their stories. So I feel
Wow.
that it's an important life skill. Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I also want to give you lots of credit in a sense that I think by writing a story about his journey battling cancer, is also a very therapeutic way for him to express.
Yes.
Because I have been a social worker I was a social worker for 7 years, and one of the ways that we help younger children who are not able to verbalize because of lack of vocabs, or
Yeah.
even they can't even they may know the word, but they may not even know how do you match the right word or right combination of words to the feelings. Like maybe as adults, we can even say we are a bit sad, but yet it's a bit confusing, but also a bit scared. Yeah. So children may not have the kind of capability to do that.
Yeah.
So by doing the drawing, it really helps them to verbalize through art. Through art. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I also want to. I would like you to share more about the storytelling, because I realized that you also help them to become young authors. Yeah, because in most centers, probably after the essay is done, they file it and that's it. But I think
Yeah.
I can see many stories of children telling the viewers that, oh, they have this storybook, blah blah blah. So would you be able to tell us more on that?
Sure. So this program that Andre was actually part of is called the Young Authors Program, and we run it during the holidays. So typically we have 2 batches in June, 2 batches in December, and we select participants who have the potential in writing as well as in illustrating. Because if you notice in the book, there's illustrations together with text to tell their story, because I think both go hand in hand. And the reason why this program is special, well, there are a few reasons why this program is special. First of all, they get to publish a book uh, of their choice, so they get to choose you know, the story that they want to tell, and then we guide them and mentor them in the process of organizing their thoughts, organizing their ideas, and also choosing scenes that they want to illustrate to go together with the book. And I also bring in a real life published author to give the students feedback. So other than myself or the other instructors, they also get feedback from a real life published author and an illustrator to come and guide them in their illustrations. So the illustrator is actually one of my ex-students from TPJC. And she, for her A-level art project, she published a children's storybook, which was beautiful. So, you know, I roped her in and I said, Jamie, can you come and mentor these children? And she's been doing it for years since the program started. And I think that it's important for children to know that their words are impactful, their words are powerful. So like you said, it's not just, okay, write a story and then put it aside, right? So we get them to think about whether they want to donate the profits, if they sell the books on our platform, whether they want to donate the profits to a charity of their choice. So we introduce them to a few charities, but we tell them that the choice is yours. You pick the charity that you want the profits of your books to go to. And then we help them to make this video, and we publish it on our social media pages, and they send it to, you know, their friends, their parents' friends, and they get a lot of support. So I have kids who are selling like hundreds of books, because, you know, I think people see the value of this, and also it's for a good cause. The kids actually get nothing from their books. All the profits actually go to a charity of their choice. And many of these kids, they are animal lovers, so they choose like to donate the money to animal shelters. Another one of our beneficiaries is actually Make-A-Wish Foundation. So, because when they see like other children who are going through terminal illness, when they see the videos of it, they feel very touched and they want to make a difference. They want to, do what they can for these children who don't have much time left. And for Andre, it was very special because the mother was telling me that when he was sick, when he was going through chemo, he went to the Children's Cancer Foundation and they really helped him so much. So now it's his chance to actually give back to the CCF and donate the profits from his book to the CCF as a way to give back for how they have helped him, and now they can continue helping other children as well. Yeah. So
Wow.
amazing work by the kids.
Yes, it's really amazing because I think the children also learn empathy towards other kids who are going through more challenging times, because I think sometimes if we do not open our world's views, we may think that our challenge is really big and it's very daunting. But when we look at what other children or people are going through, probably our problems will get smaller or even is considered as less significant compared to some kids who are facing terminal illness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. I think I want to use this opportunity to really share about children's work, because I think it's very important. And the reason why I'm doing this interview series is also getting educators out and like yourself who work very closely with kids and also helping them to groom skills like having books, sharing, and even for myself, it took me many years to be able to dare to speak online. But these children are starting off from a very young age. So let me just go to your website and look at the young authors.
Sure.
Okay, give me a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so parents, we are now at this website, which is artisticstrategies.com.sg, and you can just mouse over to young authors books. Now tell us more about this page.
So this page was created as a way for members of the public and people who like to support our young authors to actually purchase their books. So in the picture, you can see some of the books that our children have created, and basically after they have published their books, we put the books up for sale. And we show the video of the children talking about their books and also explaining why they choose certain beneficiaries, and give a hint of what their story is about. So then there's a button, at the bottom of the video there's a button that says please support me, or please support the young author's name, and the people can make a purchase via PayPal or credit card. So we do the administration. We do the administrative work of collating all the donations and distribution of the books, and we also tie up with the charities to be able to send the profits to them or donate the profits to them, and the children are acknowledged as well by the charities. So usually, they would send the children like a letter or a kind of receipt that says, oh, this is the amount that you donated to us. So that the children can feel, oh, at least I did something good with my work. And it's not easy, the process, it's 4 sessions. And in 4 sessions, they have to come up with the illustrations and they have to come up with the entire story. And we don't do much editing when it comes to the illustrations. So a lot of the illustrations are, what they are creating. We don't do editing of it because we want the child's work to really be pure. We kind of just help them to format it in a book format. So one book is a short story of about, I would say, 15 pages, including the illustrations as well as the text. Yeah. So we'll guide them through the process of making the video, because like you said, some children, they may not be used to actually filming. So we give them like a script, and we practice with them, what they are going to say before the filming actually happens. And also the videos, we want to showcase like the process, because I think aside from the final product, I think the process is very interesting, because you can see how, like, from their drawings, we actually create it and make it into an actual book, and they are working very hard to do it as well. So the video also becomes a kind of a memento that they can keep, and they can show their friends and their family members about this project that they are embarking on in the holidays. So it becomes something very meaningful for both the child and the parents as well. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. Yeah. When you say that there are four days of program, and I know that's because this is a structured program, so you are able to help the kids walk through the entire process. How can parents do similar activities at home to nurture the interest of learning English?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, because a lot of these kids that come to us, they have many stories that they want to tell. But unfortunately, sometimes in the school system, we don't give them the avenue to do so. And also for compositions, they are only, taught to write certain standard compositions about topics that, are very generic, like in accident, for example. So, I think parents can play a very important role in acknowledging when the children want to tell stories. They can be the recorders of these stories. They can encourage the child to, tell the stories verbally, or even get them to draw. Like, I know boys, they love drawing comics. So if this is something that your child loves to do, I would say encourage it, support them, because this is their way of expressing themselves. And this is their way that, they are talking about what is important to them, and they are trying to make meaning of the world. And many kids as well, sometimes they may not be able to articulate their emotions, but it comes through in their art, or it comes through in the stories that they tell. So this becomes like a very cathartic process where they are able to, purge their emotions, and they need an outlet, especially in a very stressful environment, right, in Singapore. They need an outlet to be able to, vent or de-stress or talk about things that bother them, because otherwise they are just going to bottle it, and that can manifest in something that is not very good. So if you give them the outlet through art and through writing, they will be able to regulate their emotions better as well. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I happen to also revisited your Facebook page, and I realized some things very interesting. And I can see a teacher holding on to like A4 picture. Let me show you where I am.
Sure.
Yeah. And I can see there's a lot of time being invested into the pre-writing process. Tell us more about what's happening here.
Okay, actually, this is a volunteer, or rather, someone who works with the charity World Vision.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So we invited World Vision to collaborate with us for one of our other signature programs, which is called Young Inventors. So this is a program where we employ design thinking, and we guide the students or the participants in coming up with solutions, real life solutions to real life problems. So the reason why we invited World Vision for this particular program is because we wanted the children to also understand a bit about the underprivileged nations, and the type of work that an organization like World Vision does. So they came to share with our kids what it's like to, maybe live in another part of the world, what kind of challenges the children there face. Like, for example, they face very basic problems like sanitation, lack of food, lack of money to go to school. So these are some things that, our children may never have heard of because they don't encounter these problems, right? And giving them a chance or giving them a glimpse into what other worlds are like will expose them to other realities, and they become more open-minded. And from there, again, they develop the sense of empathy and they think about how they can help. Because I think that, it's important to not just groom a generation of very intelligent or very exam smart kids, but then if these kids have no empathy and they're not compassionate, they don't think about how they can help and contribute to the society and to other communities, then what's the use really? Are we just going to be a modern society that, has no heart? Right. So I feel that this is something that is really important in a child's education, for them to be aware, for them to be, not just stuck in a bubble, but to think about, what it must be like for other kids who don't have the privileges that they enjoy. But one thing that the World Vision team did very well was actually they communicated that although these children have very little, they are still very happy. Yeah. So, and I think that the kids, our participants, we were very they had their whole mindset just like broadened on that day. And they came up with very, very good solutions to help these kids. So what do? They design like prototypes. So one girl who's only about 8, she designed a prototype of an art school, where the children can come to the school, learn how to make crafts, and then sell their crafts, so that they have money for their education. And for an 8-year-old to think of something like that, I think it's wonderful, because it shows that they have really been thinking about it, and they have really came up with a lot of meaningful solutions as well.
Wonderful, yeah. And I guess that besides going through an essay writing process, they also receive valuable life lessons from the volunteers or the teachers who are taking the classes.
Yes, definitely, because I think that we seek to educate children holistically. So it is not just about, can you score full marks for the exam? Or do you understand the grammar rules? Of course, grammar and vocabulary are definitely important because, these are things that they need to get right in order to communicate effectively. But we also ask them questions like, why? Why do you choose this? Why do you want to write about this? Why is it meaningful for you? How are you going to do it? So we give them some autonomy, in terms of how they want to express their ideas sometimes. But of course, we realize that in Singapore, it is a very practical society. And at the end of the day, we also still want them to be able to write competently in the exams. So we do, teach them the structure that is required for exam writing, because I think that if you are a good writer, then you have to be a good writer in all contexts. So you have to be able to write well under exam conditions as well. But writing is more than just writing well for exams. So writing is it's a very thoughtful process that, we wish to inculcate the thought patterns, the concept of reflection, the concept of self-awareness in our kids as well.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you because right now it seems like the contents that most of us consume are written content. Let's look at the emails that our clients send us, our co-workers send us. It's all through email. And what about WhatsApp messages? It's all written text and also the written content in the Facebook posts. Yes. And somehow I think the content and the tone and how the words are used really make a big difference because it can definitely change your moods. For example, sometimes some people who is not very good in writing, but with no bad intention, but with the wrong use of words, that's it. Yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
just cause a lot of misunderstanding.
Exactly.
But sometimes in heated arguments, for example, with partners, if you are very good with your words, it can soften the tension as well.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah. So I think, like, many of us, when we enter into the workforce, we understand the importance of writing and communicating, because it's really a make or break situation. And if we don't start our kids young, like I mentioned, it will really be an uphill battle for them. As they enter the workforce, or as they work with group mates and collaborate with others as well. Yeah.
And I'm looking at this boy's picture, and I'm looking at while we are facing these challenging times, let us not forget to have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us more about this picture. What's
Okay.
going on?
So this was during pre-circuit breaker times, because he's still wearing a mask, and the children still came for classes. So I think that with everything going on around them, I feel that sometimes we need to lighten the mood a little bit. And it's just so happened that this boy Philip, he was doing an activity on food writing. So we have an activity where we actually ask them to imagine food items talking to one another, and what would they say. And he said, "Oh, can I tell some food jokes? I made up these food jokes and I want to write about them. Can I do that?" And I mean, of course, because it's relevant to the topic that he is writing about, and I said, "Why not?" And the food jokes were actually pretty good. They were very witty. So he's 8 years old as well. And I think for an 8-year-old boy, it was very witty. And I said, let's share it with, our parents, or those that follow us on Facebook, because I think that everyone could use a dose of humor, especially in these very challenging times. And that is something that writing does as well. Like, we are able to make people feel better, cheer people up. I have parents telling me that after their children enter our classes and they are enrolled in our classes, they would receive very nice notes from their kids, and this never happened before. But because the kids really see the value of writing and expressing themselves even outside of the class, it becomes so natural to them to express their gratitude to their parents, to express their appreciation to the parents. And I think that this is really very heartfelt, and we know that we have done something right by these children when they start to write and express their emotions, and make people feel better as well. Yeah.
This is very good stuff. Yeah, because I know that many of us, because of how we were brought up, and probably many of us were told to just do well in school, and we use the same teaching method on our kids. Just score and that's it. And we do not bring the child beyond the subjects. Yeah. So I think also, before I lose all the points that we have shared, because those are very valuable points, parents, I think the reason why we are doing all these interviews is because let's look at English is beyond, I mean, it's more than just a subject to score. When everything becomes natural for your kids, probably you'll be receiving more heartfelt notes from your children, because sometimes, being Asian, we don't really express our love verbally to the parents. And I mean, it feels weird, right? Like I love my mom, but please don't ask me to say I love you. Yeah. And my girls actually writes all this for me once in a while, and that's very sweet.
Yeah, I see that your children are very sweet. They always express their appreciation for you and your wife. So I think that's wonderful. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I think we have come to almost the end of the sharing, another 10 more minutes. And I still want to go back to process, because it's a very wonderful process. Have you ever heard feedback from parents that, yes, teacher Claudine, this is all very nice, but I simply have no time. I mean, I have 3 kids, I have 4 kids. I just can't sit down with my kid to watch him draw, to watch him, to process with him, and to hear him, and then write the essay? Can't you just write the essay straight away?
Okay, yeah. I mean, yes, definitely our parents are all very busy. Most of them are working parents as well. But we do have certain tools that actually encourage the children to write and create even by themselves. So the exercises in our workbooks, they allow the children, they are very self-directed. So they have instructions and there are guiding questions that children will be able to respond to pretty easily. And they don't really need the parent to sit down, as they do it. And we also have video tutorials to guide them. So that's another option for parents, who would like their children to be more independent, and also to learn how to write by themselves instead of relying so much on the teacher and the parent. And we do give them feedback as well. So for parents who want something at home to occupy their kids, but also to allow their kids to learn how to write better, we do have resources like our workbooks and our video tutorials that they can utilize. And I think that, it doesn't need to be, like I said, it doesn't need to be 100% monitored process at home. But I think if you engage your child in conversation, maybe during dinner, like about what he or she created or what he or she wrote about, and encourage your child to use the vocabulary that he or she has learned, that can actually, not just create a better relationship between the parent and the child, but the child gets a chance to articulate and to practice what they have learned in the classes and, from their experiences of writing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember getting this book from you. Can you point to me which one is it? Because I really love it, and in fact, I showed it to my wife, and somehow she was hooked to it because it's like a totally different kind of essay writing book altogether.
Yeah. So we have actually indexed it under writing workbooks on the top left hand corner.
Okay.
We have physical copies of these books as well as downloadable copies. So many parents actually, they purchase our downloadable copies because, then they can choose which activities they will want to print for their child to do at home. And what is special about the downloadable copies as well is that if their children can type, they can type on the PDF as well, so they don't have to print it out. But some parents also prefer the physical copies. So we do provide the physical copies, and it's wonderful because it becomes a kind of a portfolio of their child's written work. Yeah, so we have both that are available as well as bundle deals that are available on our shop on our website.
All right. So for parents who are watching this, I don't get anything out of this. Yeah, I just want to showcase good work. Yeah, because in fact this is really popular in the States and Europe. I'm not sure if you heard before, Big Life Journal.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a very big company, and also many people actually bought from them, helping and to help their children to write about their life, because I think journaling is a very popular process in the other parts of the world, but probably not so much in Singapore.
Yeah, but I think that we can always start somewhere. So I think no matter where the child is in terms of the writing standard, there's something that will appeal to every child. So we have very interesting activities, like for example, in this particular volume, the volume 2, we have writing about the future. We have detective writing as well. And also, children get to write about their dreams, and they get to create out of this world stories. So these are things that they may not do in school, but it does give them a chance to explore other topics, because I think it's important to broaden, their spectrum of what they write about, so that like I said, when they become natural writers, they can write about any topic engagingly and effectively as well. Yeah.
Oh, this is really nice. Yeah, all these are really good work, or great work, or awesome work.
Thank you, John.
Really, really, because and I believe that in fact, many of us may hear this saying that, oh, the jobs that our children will have are not even existent now,
Yeah.
and jobs that our parents or even ourselves are holding are also disappearing. And the COVID process, I mean, this COVID virus has also eradicated many jobs. Yeah, and it's a worldwide thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that in a company, probably those who keep problem solvers,
Yes.
critical thinkers who can help the company or the organization to evolve and innovate. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I always encourage parents to really go beyond what their kids are learning in the classrooms. Yeah, because if the parents want their children to be successful in life down the road, I mean, it may not mean a lot of wealth, but in terms of enjoying what they're doing, yeah, I think nowadays the parents have a lot more work to do to work with their children outside school hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy thing. So and if you have time to work with your kids, go ahead. I think it's very important for your kids.
It is. Yeah. I think supportive parents are definitely, we love to work with supportive parents who, take an interest, a real interest in terms of developing their child holistically, and also their learning attitude. So, yeah, and I can see that more and more parents are seeing the importance of an education beyond the classroom, beyond what they learn in school, which is great. Yeah.
Yes. I just want to bring the parents through this journal. Give me some time. I know that it's already 11:30 soon. Yeah. So this video shows. Okay, let me just zoom in. Okay. Oh, I can see. What is this?
Okay, so after every chapter, we teach them vocabulary about that particular chapter. And to help them to remember, we ask them to doodle an image to illustrate the meaning of the word, so that they will better be able to remember the meaning of the word. Because I think that a lot of our learners are visual learners, so they remember things better when there are pictures associated with it. And what makes the learning more enduring is when they create the pictures themselves. So when they create, they are already remembering, oh, this word means this. And so this is how I would use this word in a sentence. And, we ask them to make sentences after they have learned new vocabulary as well, so that they will know how to use it by themselves. Yeah. So vocabulary becomes like a very fun process instead of just memorizing the spelling, and churning it out. But we give vocabulary a practical value, and we teach them how to apply it.
Wonderful. And this one will be the physical copy, am I right?
Yes, this one is the physical copy. And we do have the soft copy as well, the downloadable version, which is
so when the parents see downloadable means it's a soft copy.
Yes, it's an e-copy.
And what happens after they pay?
So after they've paid, we will actually send them the PDF file through email, and if they have any questions as well, they can always email us back. We have support, or if they have any questions about how to carry out the activities, we are always there on standby as well to give them feedback, because I think we are invested in involving the parents and building strong partnerships with them as well.
Great. All right, so we have come to the end of the sharing, and I can see that you have shared many tips. Yeah, so if a parent having watched this video and wants to do one thing to start making English fun for their kids, what can they do?
I think they can, just start with the child's interest first. So, for example, for many boys, that would be video games, or that would be, Minecraft and Roblox. Just like how our students, they come and they tell us about this. Don't push it away, don't dismiss it, but maybe start with that and then engage them in conversations about, why is it interesting, and get them to write about it, or get them to design their own game if that is their thing. So always start with the child's interest, what appeals to them. And then from there, you can branch out and introduce other kinds of topics, or, areas of interest that you want to expose your child to. I think the child needs to feel like their opinions matter, and they need to feel that it is safe. Yeah, it is safe for them to explore and express themselves. Yeah.
And at the same time, yes, we do have one question from Mami Li Peng, and she asked about how do you cultivate a love for English for primary school students?
I think that the arts would be the best way for me to cultivate the love, because arts and writing are so similar. So when you engage them in creating things and then writing about the things that they create, it really becomes a magical experience, because they are able to write about what they love. They are able to write about something that came out from themselves, instead of them receiving all this information from elsewhere and forcing and the information being forced down their throats. So I would say that, get your child to create, and it doesn't take much. You can always use recyclable materials at home, or if you have Lego, or your child loves to draw, start with that, and then get them to write about the experience and talk about the experience using English, and you will see changes in your child as well.
And I also want to just add on my 2 cents, because I really like the part when you say making it safe for the kids. In my own opinion, what it meant by safe is, for example, if my girl told me, let's say if I ask my girl, so what is your dream? And if let's say she says that I want to build a spacecraft and send people to Mars. Yeah, I think being safe is also, as a parent, we do not be judgmental.
Yeah.
Because I can hear two voices from different kinds of parents. One will quickly jump in like, "Are you sure you can do it? Don't be stupid." Yeah, I mean, some we do hear comments like that once in a while when we work with parents. But at the same time, another kind of parents who are more supportive, probably they'll be asking like, "Oh, so what makes you think so?" I mean, even in their head, they may be thinking like, "Sure or not?" But I think being safe also give children the space to explore.
And to just be encouraging, and instead of saying, "Are you sure?" maybe you can say, "Tell me how," write about it, or tell me how you think that this is going to happen, and that will engage them more in the idea as they invest in it.
Yes, and I think it suddenly reminded me of Elon Musk, who recently launched their very first spacecraft into space. So I'm thinking for children, for dreamers now, and they are thinking of how to move people to Mars. Probably we need that. Maybe we will not see that in our lifetime, but I think for their generation, they may need that.
I think so too. So, a dream is never, it's always a possibility.
Yes. All right. Okay. Now I would like to ask you one question, which I always ask my guests. Because right now you are so well equipped with so many tools to learn English, and let's say, and then now we also know that the primary sixers are pretty stressed out, having to sit for their PSLE in 2 months' time or even less. So now if you walk down the memory lane and you see the 12-year-old Claudine,
Mm.
can you imagine? Yeah, probably with colored hair as well. I'm not very
No,
sure. Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you imagine seeing face to face with
yeah.
12-year-old Claudine, what will you tell her?
I think that, I remember being very, very stressed. And as a child, I didn't like school, to be honest. I would just tell her that, you know what? I think that everything will work out. And all you have to do is to just try your best because that is what matters.
Mm-hmm.
And you will find a way. No matter what, you will find a way. So just do your best and try to stay calm because that is the only thing that you can do right now. So, and I would say the same thing to all of my students who are taking PSLE as well, to just have faith, even though it's very difficult. But ultimately, the PSLE is not the be all and end all. It is just a stepping stone to where you want to be. And there's always going to be other ways to get to your destination. Yeah, so just try to stay calm. Yeah,
Good.
that's a very interesting question.
Yes. And the reason why I ask is sometimes I ask parents too. A lot of times when we see the children, we are seeing
Yeah.
through adults' lenses. And as adults, we have so much knowledge, wisdom, experience, and knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah,
But we forgot that the child doesn't have much.
exactly.
And a lot of times when we just help the parents to change the perspective for a short time and seeing from a child's shoes, many parents will mellow down and say, actually, I was once like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And one experience that I had is I was always telling my elders, because when I was younger, my father was very strict and he will plan everything for me. Yeah. So I have to like do 10 pages of math questions.
Wow.
Before lunch, then maybe another 10 pages of English after lunch. Yeah. And I don't have the opportunity to be self-directed because I'm being just dragged by the nose. Yeah. So when I look at my eldest girl being able to do work by herself, I will always praise her that she's very hardworking, and I told her honestly, I was not that hardworking or independent when I was her age. And to children, they were like, is it? Like, because in the child's eyes,
Yeah.
the dad or the mom is the almighty.
Yes, that's right. That's
So
right. The
sometimes
role
it
model.
helps.
Yeah.
So sometimes it helps to be vulnerable in front of kids and praising them for what they are worth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add before we end off this Zoom meeting? Because I know that when I talk to you, we can go on non-stop.
We can. Yeah, I think we are like-minded in so many ways. But no, I think that you pretty much covered most of the things. And I think if any of the parents who are watching this want to get in touch, you can always reach out to me if you have any questions on our Facebook page, Instagram, and also our website. And I will definitely, get back to you when I see your query or if you have anything that you would like to ask as well. So thank you so much, John, for this wonderful opportunity to speak with you and also to share more about ASA.
Yes. Yeah. So let me just quickly do a wrap up. For parents who are still watching right now, in fact, if you are just looking for grades and wanting your child to score well, and that's it. Yeah, I'm not sure ASA is right for you, as in the Artistic Strategies Academy. But if you go to Claudine's website, I was just pasting your website into the comments, and you know that there's always this thumbnail with a short description. and the words that come out is not helping your child ace English. It's not.
Yeah, it's
It
not.
says grooming young writers. Yeah, and it goes beyond grades. Means that you need to work with your kids with teacher Claudine to get them to be interested in English. And it's a long process. It's not just like jumping by 3 grades within 2 months. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
Okay.
a quick fix. Yeah. And I think you're absolutely right, John.
Yes. All right. So I'll see you around. Take care, and
Yes.
we'll keep in touch. Yeah.
Take care, John.
Take
Thank you so
care.
much.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.